All right, welcome everybody. I am Paddo. We're going to be doing a Duelyst Dojo episode. This episode, we're going to have Elmanbeastio showing off his Nether Summoning deck, which he has right here for you. He's going to scroll through. If you have any specific cards, Elman, just kind of point them out if there's any kind of key cards to this deck before we hop into some games.
Yeah, so the list is actually, we're going to kind of test it live, right? Because some of the cards are staple and some of the cards are experiments. Nether Summoning is the biggest experiment, obviously, because it just got changed like a day ago. But the base idea is this deck is super greedy. That's why we're playing 3 6s and 2 7s, which most people don't play 7s and they might not play 6s or very few 6s. And so the reason here is Darkfire Sacrifice lets us play above curve, which is not new to the deck, but it's new because you could do like turn 4, big guy, turn 5, Nether Summoning, and you get your big guy back. And then the other thing is, we're going to try out the dispels because this guy is really, really good. And so we don't want to just die to one card. And so we're going to try these. They should work against like Amara healers and some other bombs that we're hoping not to run into. But we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, well, let's give it a spin.
All right, so definitely mulliganing the high drop. Even though we have dark, we don't have it in hand and we're not relying on it. And then this is too early because I don't want to play this turn 1. It just kind of like empties my hand. And if I haven't taken any damage, it's kind of like losing value that way. I'm not in a rush to kill the general, so we're gonna keep the assassin because that's probably our turn 1 play, is just to stop his turn 1 play. The better plays would be like double 2 drops with like Sarlacc. This guy's too expensive. Let's get rid of that.
He came back because he loved you.
Right?
He threw him away and he's like, no, Dad, come back.
Yeah, 99.9% of the time, I'll move forward twice, no matter what, even if I don't have a play, because using my journal as a resource is super, super, super important. And in this case, the decision here is to see if we want to get rid of this guy, because the ability is actually really good, or just develop our own board. That's always the decision, right? You're saying, is my play stronger than his play or than their play? Or do I want to stop their play, right? And at the same time, you have to account ahead of time, who do you think is going to take each tile? Because I could do this, right? I could just 1, 2, 3, take the tiles, and then he'll probably take this one. We're done with that. But in this case, I actually don't want him to keep that guy. We're going to keep this because they'll probably combo really well. I could maybe get rid of this, but next turn. Sorry, I did the Revenant.
Pretty standard. He walks forward with the Silverguard Knight for his next turn.
Yeah.
Kind of pretty much expected, but he didn't get a lot of extra value out of that because he took a mana core but then didn't use anything with it. So
yeah,
basically just robbed you of it.
Right. Yeah. And Abyssian, because we have this card, sort of doesn't care that I'm even provoked in this place, because we can actually still reach it. So what I'm thinking about is, do I want to whip this guy and move him somewhere here in the corners? That's usually the best spot. Or do I kind of leave him there because I want to save this whip for like an Iron Cliff? And so my play will probably drop this guy, take tiles at cheaper cost because of him, and maybe even attack him. I'm willing to take the 3 to start with, like, weakening this guy, but we'll see how that works out. Actually, I can't even keep my... Oh god, no, lag. All right, we didn't get the attack in, but it's not a big deal. I needed to protect this guy, and that's a mistake already, right? Because my last minute decision made me move here. Like I moved it here to avoid him being closer to this side where we're probably gonna fight for this tile.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I put him exactly where he just dunks. That's what happens when you rush, not rush the turn because I rolled or I timed out, but that's what happens. And then here, these plays are all kind of weak. I have 5 mana. I can find something better to do. Even the mana forger is not that good here because I'm starting to get to where my mana won't matter. I don't have anything else to use it with, so yeah, it's not a super strong play right now. He stunned me. What? Can you not? Can you, please?
He stunned
so
you
this guy,
good.
yeah, this guy's got a lot of damage, but I should just play. Like he's still pretty ahead right now because his creatures are better and he can kind of kill wraithlings with his general. But we'll try and take the tempo back when he plays someone big, and we can just kill it for 3 mana. So we just kind of like back off, take dudes, and then keep our mantis sort of close. Like here, it gets reached by his dude, which we sort of don't mind, but we would rather be in a position where he strikes his new summons, right?
Yeah.
So when this guy gets back, he's gonna be a pain. But we're trying to like just find value later.
But it's actually a good call too, because I think most players there are like, nah, man, I gotta use my ritual banishing now because like I have to get back control, and you're playing more for the long game, recognizing that you have the tempo swing later. So that's actually a pretty good point for a lot of players.
All right, and there's some really powerful plays when you wait, it just pays off, right? Like probably the one I would say people complain about the most because it actually is really good is Vanner's Hailstone Prison. So it's like the more you wait, the more it pays off. Wow.
Yeah, he basically just killed he basically just killed your 2/2.
That's just so lucky for us, but I don't think I keep both of these, even though I can use them both right now. Because I would rather get my own creature on board. Since he didn't do anything, the only reason we can do this is because he didn't use 4 crystals, and we're definitely playing this guy on the next turn, right? So
yeah,
we're gonna get rid of this. The whip's actually good because it saves me 4 damage if I don't want to use a wraithling. I could just save the whip and tank 4, but that seems like a lot. Because I don't have any healing, and I know I'm gonna play this next turn. So for at least 2 turns, I'm not healing, right? So I don't know if I want to just take 4. And actually, the general's gonna smack me too. So, I think we move back so this guy doesn't reach with zeal. But we're gonna whip this guy to death and start positioning a little better. Oh god, I can't grab this guy. Oh god.
come on, buddy. No.
No. All right. So basically, I was trying to regroup my guys because if I leave them like that, they all die to decimate. So I wanted this guy to be sort of in range to frenzy soon. Not range because it's a global spell, but like exposed to decimate. So I was trying to just regroup all my guys behind me. Also, now that I think about it, it's kind of weird to call the Nether Summoning deck when it only has 2 copies.
Yeah, I mean, if you were really committed, man, you'd have 3. And you have Alcuin Lore Masters, and you'd be prepared to play 6 of those things.
Right? And so the reason is it's kind of like a situational card. And so in theory, it will pay off immensely when I get it. But I would argue that you need most of your deck to set up that really good Nether Summoning turn. And you don't want to just cycle through Nether Summonings as you're drawing cards and doing your mulligan and replacing. That's one of the bigger reasons not to run 3. And then it gets into the whole conversation of like deck building. People like to just only play 3 of every card. Some people hate playing one-offs of cards. So it gets really like in depth, the whole conversation. But just for now, something I'll just say I think 2 is the right number, and kind of leave it at that. So here we're probably there's almost no other play when this guy's the option. So I'm basically just planning what I'm gonna do the next turns. I don't think I dispel ever because as long as you have kill cards against Lionar, I don't care about dispelling them. They don't have something like an Aymara healer where so let's do this guy.
Now, did you go for that because the celerity has more potential for damage? Is that what you're looking at there?
That's double bond range, double divine bond range. So he's not gonna do 4. He's gonna do potentially 6 more per. And I just don't want to take 16 from a 2-drop. It's kind of annoying because I chose to kill a 2-drop over a 3-drop who clearly has better overall stats. Astral Alliance just that good.
Now this is actually a potentially cool position for Nether Summoning right here, right? Because you.
Yep.
Because the things that died were Mantis and Revenant, right? Is that how it works?
And they're gonna be summoned here, here, here. I could actually move Wraithlings. Well, these are provoked. I could kill this guy, or even use my journal. Block the spaces I don't want the Nether Summoning to be in, and RNG. See if I get Revenant here or here. It's not too relevant right now because the Revenant has a rush. So he spawn and the Mantis is almost good in any spot. But I would actually rather have the Mantis here. So what we're gonna do is here. He can't move. I might use the general. I'm thinking on how to play this turn out. I'm gonna keep everything. Everything here is useful. Yeah, I'll take the 3. Nether. I'm actually taking really long. But now he has to appear here. Oh my god, the best. Actually not too afraid of that.
And right now he's like, I hate this.
Because he shouldn't kill me. Like, it's so hard to get a kill from this guy, even though he could get +8 with Divine Bonds. And then this guy might swing twice, and then Nether Summoning, the other's Nether Summoning from hand, and then swing again.
Yeah, I mean, that was a pretty solid game right there. Display about, like, Nether Summoning, it's like, like, oh, it's like a great use for it right there.
Here, I'm going to keep these because the double 2-drop is one of the stronger plays. Starlight is one of the best Abyssian openers. And then the same reason as before, I don't want to just deal damage. I'm not like rushing. There's no point to just do it, right? Like, I want to get my next turn's place. But yeah, with the new Nether, because it restricts the range of when, of which minions it can grab from the last turn, then it's just infinitely more consistent. And because it's consistent, you can plan around it. Like here I'm debating, this guy already challenges this guy if he comes here. So I put him up front, right? And the other decision I'm making is, do I want to whip this guy because I don't want him to take that mata? Or am I saving this whip for something better later? Or do I want to position this guy and try and get RNG to steal this?
Yeah.
But at the same time, we're going to do it here for the other reason, for a kind of similar reason. But the other thing is I didn't want his 2-1 that I'm going to kill here to come here and just kill my 2-2 and get value that he's not supposed to get. So, but if he comes here now, he misses grabbing this mata. So we're kind of we're forcing him to make a decision. He's still gonna do it, but it looks like he gave up this mata. So he got the value he wanted here. he didn't get the mana tile. Like he didn't get double mana tiles, right? He could have come here, walked here. The general could be here and taking this, and then I would not have a mana tile, right? Yeah. Basically, I said you make the decision, and I'm okay with any outcome. That's kind of what I was trying to go there.
Yeah, and frankly, he didn't get a lot of value out of that turn, right? Because he went and stole the man tile, but he didn't play much else.
Yeah.
And basically gave up a dude.
Yeah, two and use mana. He didn't use, and so here I'm deciding whether or not I wanna risk. So I have a few decisions. I try and get Dark Fire from a replace, or I keep this for when I do draw it, or I can get rid of this because I don't think I'm gonna use it in this matchup, but keep the mana for you because I at least want to do something with my turn, right? So we're gonna try and get the Dark Fire, but keep this as a backup play. So we got something that'll be nice if we draw the Nether. I'm actually gonna take 2 damage here. And the reason I'm taking 2 damage is because I'm okay with taking 2 damage so he doesn't take this mana. Which seems really, really bad maybe, but that mana, that's how much I fight for mana in this game. I'm just body blocking and taking 2 damage. And it might even give me a really strong play. So, yeah, I'm okay with that.
He doesn't want any part of you, man. Thanks for giving us the tips on the deck. Anything else you'd like to say about the deck? Maybe tweaks you would make? If you had to, after these first few games, like any tweaks you would make to the deck currently?
Based on the meta, which it might sound like generic or whatever, but so for example, I placed these in the deck because I was expecting Purple Reavers because of the patch that just hit, right? Which is the same reason I'm playing Nether Summoning because of the patch that just hit. But so basically you make an assessment, you're like, well, I think this is gonna happen, the game's gonna change like this. This deck's popular, whatever, right? I didn't even fight Vitruvian, I think. That wasn't too many games, but over a longer period of testing, I want to see, hey, do I really need this spell? Was I really taking advantage of the mana cost down? How many times did I even cast the Nether Summoning in the Nether Summoning deck? And you start fine-tuning your deck, and then it becomes like really polished, really consistent. You get a higher win rate against all the factions when you start polishing your deck. And just basically experiment, right? Like, also, like, people's card pools are different. Like, I just spam Abyssian, so I crafted a lot of everything times 3, 3, 3, 3, 3.
Yeah.
And just find innovative ways to replace those cards, right? Like, if, for example, like, I think this card's really good. I just was trying new things, but Grasp is pretty good for AoE. You don't have Grasp. Breath is actually a pretty good substitute. And in some cases, Breath is better because it will deal with something like Jax. So you just want to make those assessments, right? Like, which cards are better, how to, like, read the meta kind of thing, how to up your win rate by maximizing on everything, what are you expecting, just all those little things. And then eventually you come up with, like, a really fine-tuned list, and you have, like, 75% win rate against every faction, and you just look at invincible or whatever, right? So
yeah,
that's the goal, right? To have, like, that one invincible deck, and, like, then the next goal after that would be like, wow, they nerfed these cards because of me. I cost this, right? I'm so good. Right, that's like the ultimate goal, but we'll see. Maybe win some tournaments. We'll see how that works out, you know.
Yeah, well, good luck in future tournaments, and yeah, look forward to see more of you everywhere.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, no problem.